Hi, my name is Kelly Satterwhite. I'm the managing attorney for Universal Titles Old Town, Alexandria, and Tyson's Corner offices. I want to talk to you a little bit today about title insurance, what it is, why it's important. So, what is title insurance? Well, title insurance protects the policyholder's interest in a piece of real property against third parties who might have an interest in that property. What does that mean? Well, I usually use, I have kind of a cartoon story that I use to explain the type of third-party interest that we're talking about, and then we'll talk about the reality of what that really means. So let's say we have an elderly lady. She's got two kids, boy and a girl. Girl's taking care of mama. They haven't seen boy in 15 years. They don't know where he's at. Unfortunately, mama dies. And part of the property that she owns goes 50-50 to the two kids. Daughter's handling mom's estate. She waits another 10 years. She's still maybe living in the property. She hasn't heard from her brother. It's now been 25 years. She sells the property and moves on. You own the property. Boy is alive. He finds out his mother died, and that property passed 50-50 to her two kids, and he has an interest in that property, and he can rightfully come to you as the current owner and say, pay me or get out, right? And why would he come to you as opposed to go to the sister? Well, the sister may have spent the money. Property can't go anywhere. And people who own property, almost everybody has title insurance, so they're insured. It's a more guaranteed payday for him. So that's the type of third-party interest that we're talking about when we're talking about title insurance. Now, when we get your contract, we open that up in our system. We order a title search, and that title search is going to pull all the deeds going back 60 years in the chain of title, or to the original developer. Or the title abstractor, that's the company that performs the title search, is going to look for any other thing that could possibly affect the title of the property. Judgments against current or prior owners or people with similar names, liens, unreleased mortgages. They're going to look for anything that could possibly affect the title of the property. They're going to send us that report. And then we're going to do a title examination where we actually go back through, connect all those dots on the deeds, look at anything else that they might have found. And then if there are any issues, we're going to work with the seller to fix those title issues before settlement. It's the seller's responsibility under the terms of the contract to convey title that's free and clear of any and all encumbrances, right? So if we're going to close, we have to fix all those issues. So if we've searched the title and we fixed any issues, why do you need title insurance? Good question. Well, the main reasons is, number one, we can't search everywhere. We can't know everything. People lie. People commit fraud. People don't record things that they're supposed to. But that main one is that we can't search everywhere. We can't know everything, right? Title claims do happen. They are real. And if you look at the rates for title insurance versus the sale price, it's a no-brainer to buy title insurance, because that one-time premium that you're going to pay at settlement will cover you up to the full purchase price. If anything ever goes wrong, you're good to go. So that in and of itself makes, in my opinion, makes title insurance worth it. There's a reason why 99.9% of people buy it, because I think you'd be crazy not to. But in addition to that, in Virginia and also now Maryland, there's several big national title insurers that basically issue most of the title insurance in the United States. And in Virginia and also Maryland, those title insurers have agreed, in the event of a claim, that they'll, under certain circumstances, they'll mutually indemnify each other. So what that means is, if they're on opposite sides of a title issue, they've already pre-agreed that they're going to work that out amongst themselves. And what that effectively means is that, as a seller, if you go to sell a property and you have an issue that occurred prior to the time when you took title of the property, and your buyer is buying title insurance from one of those other big title insurers, and there's I would say 99% chance that's the case. In the event that something came up that happened prior to when you took title, it's almost like a get out of jail free card in most situations. So let me give you a one that comes up all the time. Let's say you buy the property and you buy title insurance. As part of settlement, your seller probably has a loan that we're paying off. Once we pay that loan off, the bank is supposed to go into the land records, because they've previously recorded a lien, a mortgage in the land records against the property. Once it's paid off, the bank is supposed to go and record a release for that mortgage. Well, they don't always do that, right? Especially big banks, they lose track of things. So when you go to sell a property, it looks like you have two mortgages. You have yours and your previous seller's. Well, what this mutual indemnity agreement essentially means is that in that situation, if you have title insurance, under most circumstances, we can just proceed to settlement, because in the event that there was ever a problem, the insurers have already agreed to deal with it. Now, there are a few limitations on that, but for the most part, it's kind of like a get out of jail free card. The other thing that can come up is if you have a common name, or anybody prior in the chain has a very common name, we're looking for judgments that could have been rendered against any of those people. And if they have a really common name in the chain of title, the title report's going to come back with all these hundreds of judgments that we've got to clear. If you have title insurance, again, under most circumstances, it's a get out of jail free card. Now, let's say we did have to clear that mortgage and you don't have title insurance. You have yours and your seller's. The banks do have to give us a release, but there's nothing that says the time frame during which they have to do that. And usually you're under contract 30 days or less, right? The odds of us getting that release back from the bank are in that time period are not real good in most circumstances. So we eventually will get a release. In extreme circumstances, you might have to sue the bank for that. But again, having that title insurance for that practical use of just being able to proceed with settlement, we use that all the time, right? Title claims do happen. They're not really common, but they do happen. But that inter-underwriter indemnity agreement is something we use on a weekly basis. I mean, it happens all the time. So between those two things, the basic protection for your investment in your property and knowing that anything that happened prior to you is already insured and you can, in most circumstances, proceed to settlement without us having to find a resolution, those two things make title insurance a no-brainer. I don't know why anybody wouldn't buy it. But of course, if you have any questions, you can always reach out to me directly or your processor, and they'll direct you to me. I'm happy to discuss title insurance with you, but we want to make sure that you right up front understand what it is and why it's important. Thank you.